Hello. Gonna give me maybe a few more seconds just to get prepared, I guess. I have never done anything like this on stream, so I don't know how this is gonna go, and that worries me. This could be fun. This could be boring. I don't know. I don't know. And this will be on YouTube. I actually think I might put this on the XDA channel. This seems like something more suited to XDA. I'll write something alongside it as well. But yeah. Let's yeah. Let's get some music. Hopefully this should be fine. I'm gonna use the Final Fantasy VII Voices of the Livestream OC remix album from like 13 years ago. So hopefully Square don't hate me for that. Hopefully it's different enough. Might turn it down a little bit. Hopefully that's fine. It's mostly just for background noise, so I'm not just talking for however long this is going to take. I don't know how long this is going to take. I decided to do this last night, and then I didn't do it last night. So I'm really not prepared for this. But basically, next year, and probably the year after that too, I'm going to be playing through the entirety of the Final Fantasy series. Well, the main series at least, with some side games thrown in based on sub-goals and channel points redemptions. Potentially, I could play basically every Final Fantasy that is out there, but it's unlikely. Luckily. So what I thought might be quite fun is if I do a tier list now where I judge all the games that I've played, and also I'll have a definitive list of games I've not played, because Final Fantasy has so much side games, especially side games like the older ones that never really came to Europe. So that'd be quite fun if I just do a tier list now, and then I'll do one after I have finished Final Fantasy Forever, whenever that is. Again, there's a reason I named it Final Fantasy Forever. I am not putting a time limit on this. So, this is going to be my personal list. I'm not taking outside influences into account. I'm judging this based on what I feel is right. But again, we'll compare that to how my opinions change years from now, potentially. So yeah, I've got the tier list up on the screen already. And it's quite self-explanatory, I think. Didn't play means I didn't play it. And honestly, I think whatever is in that didn't play section, I will give... You don't see Metal Gear Survive there? The greatest Final Fantasy game ever? I have to scroll down. If I scroll down, you'll see Metal Gear Survive. So yeah, whatever's in the didn't play section, I'll try and make it easier for sub goals to reach. F means I don't like it. F means I hate it. Then D, because we don't talk about E's around here. D means yeah, I don't. So F, I hate it. D, I don't like it. C, B, I like. A, I love. And of course, what's above A, but the Final Fantasy IX rank is for games that are Final Fantasy IX. So it'll be interesting to see what reaches the Final Fantasy IX rank. I suspect it will be a very small list. So let's get started. Let's just get in. Mainly because I've noticed that a lot of the games that are on the top there, I've not played. And of course, if you've played any of them, give your opinions in the chat. Just because, even if I have a different opinion, does not mean your opinion is invalid. It just means weird people. So yeah, let's get started. I also should make sure this is auto playing. Good. If the music's too loud or too quiet, let me know as well. So yeah, let's officially get started with A King's Tale Final Fantasy 15, which I didn't play. I didn't hear good things about it. So I didn't play it. So it's in the didn't play section. Actually, I don't even think A King's Tale's on my list. Is it even still available? I'm not even sure if it's available. But it's in the didn't play section anyway. I have a feeling the didn't play section is going to actually be larger than I'd like it to be. Final Fantasy Adventure. I've not played. But that is one of the lower sub-goal ones already. Because I do want to play Final Fantasy Adventure. If I remember correctly, is Final Fantasy Adventure technically a mana game? I want to say Final Fantasy Adventure is the prequel to Secret of Mana. And I love Secret of Mana, I love Trials of Mana. I just haven't picked up Final Fantasy Adventure yet. I can't... See, this is the problem. I can't read. Is there a way to make this bigger? Nope. So... We'll come back to... I generally can't... All the Bravest, maybe? Not played it. Put it there. Alright, Brave Exvius. I have played this one. It's a mobile one. Honestly. Oh, so this tier list also includes the movies, animes, and whatnot. I'll sort of skip over them, but I'll still rank them if I've seen them. I've only seen 2 of the movies. There's only been 2 movies. But you know what I mean? Like, I've only seen the 2 movies. No, there's been 3 movies. Forgot about Kingsglaive, which I've not seen. Hence why I forgot about it. Brave Exvius, put it D. Brotherhood, didn't watch. Crisis Core, didn't play, but I'm really excited to. Crisis Core was the first sub-unlock. So, no matter what, after Final Fantasy VII, I'll be playing Crisis Core and Dirge of Cerberus. I'm very excited to play Crisis Core. I've heard really good things. And, yeah. I genuinely can't tell what that is. What if I, zoom in? Echoes of Time. Cool. Didn't play it. Put it behind. So yeah, a lot of the side games I've missed out on. So this is... When it comes to the side games, they're all going to be here. I don't know if you can... Is my cursor even showing up? I have no idea. They're all going to be this... But this is why I'm doing this. Is to compare now to when I've played them. I'm going to need to zoom in again. Alright, not played that one. Not played that one. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, though, I have played. I got a GameCube. Specifically for... See, told you. There's Metal Gear Survive. Let's scroll down. I got a GameCube just for Crystal Chronicles. I was a big Final Fantasy fan. And I was like, oh, there's a Final Fantasy game coming out just for the GameCube. Well, I've got to get a GameCube now. And it was just when the GameCube was coming cheaper. And I got it. I got Crystal Chronicles. And then I also got a brand new copy of Final Fantasy VIII that day because my old copy was broken. And I probably played that copy of Final Fantasy VIII more than I played my GameCube in total. I love the GameCube, don't get me wrong. The GameCube is a fine console. But I just didn't have a lot of games for it. I got Smash Brothers, which is great. Sonic Adventure 2, which is great. Wind Waker, which is great. And not much more than that, actually. Crystal Chronicles never really captured me. I'll be honest. It's a game I'm obviously going to give a second try. There was an HD release not long ago. I'm willing to give it another try. I am going to put it in D. Yes, D. Again, I've just not really... It never captured me at the time. But who knows? I might change my mind now that I'm older. I was like... Was it my 11th or 12th birthday? No, it must have been my 11th. That could have been... It was either my 11th or 12th. Whatever year Crystal Chronicles came out is the year I got it, so... in Europe, anyway. Alright. I actually... Is that Dimensions? Sorry, I'm going to be constantly zooming in because... oh no! What have I done? Oh, I've done something bad. Hopefully it's saved. There we go, it did. Yeah, Dimensions 1 and 2. Not played them. I actually have no idea what Dimensions is. So... I'm going to have to research that and maybe put it on the list. Because I don't even think that's on my sub-goals. Dirge of Cerberus! You know, I'm starting to hear people defend Dirge of Cerberus. Especially, like, recently. I've been watching a lot of Final Fantasy streams to get in the mood. And, one of the streamers I watched, like, went on for, like, a few minutes about how he actually likes Dirge of Cerberus. I don't. It's going into F. I think it's a bad game. But it's also a game I'll be playing through after Crisis Core. So maybe my opinions will change. I would have played this when I was like 13, 14, so I'm double the age now. Which means I'm double the wise, double the smarts. Maybe it'll click with me this time. But for now, it's in F. Dissidia... That one I've not played. This one, Dissidia, is that NT? I think this is the only Dissidia game I've played. So I'll put the rest there. So it was the first Dissidia game I played. Oh no, wait! Opera Omnia, the mobile game. I'm going to actually put that in C. I quite like it. But Dissidia NT never... I don't know. I guess... I was expecting it to be like a fairly standard, like, fighting game, but with Final Fantasy characters. And then when it wasn't, I never quite... It never... Again, it's one of those cases where it just didn't click with me. I like the idea of it, like, the idea of, like, a Final Fantasy fighter. But... just could not get into it at all. I'm going to put it... but I don't think the game is bad as much as it just didn't click with me. So I'm going to put it in D. Behind Crystal Chronicles. But again, this is subject to change. Final Fantasy Explorers was the if I'm thinking of the right game, it's the 3DS Monster Hunter-like game, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't play a lot of it. I didn't know anyone else who had it, so I couldn't do anything like co-op or anything. I just remember playing it for like a few days, being like, yeah, this is fine, and then never playing it again. I think I got it when I got a new 3DS. I think that was kind of how I ended up buying it. It's fine, from what I remember. I put it in C. Ahead of Dissidia, Final Fantasy Opera. Never played Final Fantasy Fables, Chocobo Tales. I want to, though. Not played Chocobo Dungeon. Alright, I think this is 3. No, I can't. I need to zoom in again. Yes, Final Fantasy 3. Alright, we're on to the main series now. So for this, I'll just be talking about the version I've played. I don't think they've separated 3 and the remake. I've only ever played the remake. I've got it on the DS, and I think I've got it on Steam now as well. No, I don't have it on Steam. I will be getting it on Steam because it'll be easier to stream if it's on Steam. But Final Fantasy 3, again, I think it's a case of I was expecting it to be something it wasn't. I think I was expecting it to be more in the vein of 4 and 5, where like it had like a story. No, like I think it does have like a small story, but it's like I think it was still one of the NES Final Fantasies. But it only came out. So the NES version never came out outside of Japan. The remake was and it never got like ported like 4 and 5 and 1 and 2 did. So the DS version was my first experience with Final Fantasy 3. I think it's fine. I'll put it high C. I just realised how much games I've not placed high yet. That will change. Final Fantasy 2! God, I'm not looking forward to Final Fantasy 2. Like, I understand that there's, you know, so when it comes to Final Fantasy 2, I will not be playing the original version. I'll likely be playing either the GBA or the PSP version. Just because I think they've sort of not made it easier, but they've made the mechanics a bit more clearer, from what I've heard. Basically, in Final Fantasy 2, you don't level up in the same way as all the other games. I think you level up by doing. Wait, no, you've misspelt the misspelling. No, I misspelt the misspelling. There we go. Also, hello, Blake. Yeah, I'm bad. I'm a bad person. Anyway, welcome to my Final Fantasy tier list. So far, we've basically been covering a lot of games I didn't play. You have expectations for this list. I will not voice them until you. Well, this is so. Just a quick reminder. This is a list that is mine. It's my list. It will be going on XTA. I'm putting this on the XTA YouTube channel rather than my own, because I'm going to write something about it as well. However, everything here is subject to change. I'll be doing a second tier list once I'm done with Final Fantasy Forever. and the idea is just compare how my opinions have changed. So, even if my opinions are different from yours now, it doesn't mean they won't improve over time. But we'll continue. Final Fantasy 2, yeah, I'm putting this an F for now, but I do expect that once I'm done with Final Fantasy 2, it'll be much higher. But when I played it, I was 12 and I didn't like it. Final Fantasy 1, so I've mostly played the GBA version, and that's fine. I quite like it, actually. I'm going to put it in B. Typed in tier list and got a ton of COVID. Yeah, yeah, I made that mistake as well. When I typed in tier list, and it's just COVID, 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 COVID. This is tiermaker.com. And the specific one I am using is ranking all Final Fantasy games, films, and animes tier list maker, because this is the only one I could find that was updated enough to have Final Fantasy Remake. Final Fantasy 7 Remake, sorry. But yeah, absolutely. If there's an opinion you disagree on, please type it in chat. You know, or even if you have an opinion in any of these games, type that in chat as well. You know, nothing but Final Fantasy, but your tier list is spawn. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. Right, let's. Also, hello. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? Right, so the next game, Final Fantasy IV: The After Years, is the sequel to Final Fantasy IV that came out in like 2008. I have it on Steam. I've not played it though, so it goes here. Final Fantasy IV, this is 4, yeah, is brilliant. It's a fantastic game. The first, in my opinion, the first truly great Final Fantasy game. Obviously, it goes into. I feel like I need something in between Final Fantasy 9 and A. I'm going to add in another. Oops, no. I'm going to add in another. What? How did that happen again? Yeah, I'm going to add in S tier. Cool. Just done with 4 hours of Sea of Thieves. I'm going to get some noodles. Nice. I just had some noodles. Just a cup of noodles, though. This is not sponsored, but these are 70p in Asda right now, and they're great. They're just a big pot of cup noodles. You must have them. I've got like heaps in the cupboard. Just because every time I go to Asda, I'm like, I'll buy a couple. I really like the chicken flavors, and the curry one's good too. Anyway, yeah, so I'm putting Final Fantasy IV in the A rank just because I've never finished the game, but I do really like it. I don't know what version I'm going to be playing. I don't know if I'm going to play the remake or the original. And when I say original, I mean whatever version was on the PS1. That's the version I played as a kid. Because again, it never came out over here until it came out on the PS1. Final Fantasy 9. This one's difficult. I don't know where to put Final Fantasy 9. I mean, feel free to help, chat. I mean, do I put it? I could put it in the B rank. I could put Final Fantasy 9 in the B rank. I mean, the only thing I know for sure is it's definitely not going to be in Final Fantasy 9 rank, because it's not good enough to be. Final Fantasy 9 is not good enough to be in Final Fantasy 9 rank. Ooh, with Metal Gear Survive. Oh well, in that case, Final Fantasy 9. I've made this tier list too big now. Final Fantasy 9 goes into Final Fantasy 9 rank. Final Fantasy 9 is the greatest Final Fantasy game. Just an absolutely charming world. A likable cast of characters. Just there's just not much wrong with it. Like, literally the only thing I would say is wrong with it is some of the mechanics don't really work very well. Like stealing, or the card game kind of sucks, but you can ignore the card game. You don't need to, like, stealing's only annoying some of the times. It's probably the best Final Fantasy game. Never heard of it? Fair enough. Also, I was doing research for something else I'm going to do for XTA, and Final Fantasy IX is the only Final Fantasy to crack the top 50. Well, no, I think it's like, it doesn't crack the top 50 games of all time, according to Metacritic, but if you take out the duplicates, it does. Don't ask how I know that. I was doing research. Kingsglaive, never watched it. I will watch it when I get to Final Fantasy 15. Last Order, I forget what that is, but it's there. Final Fantasy Legend 3, didn't play it, but I will be. The Saga collection just came out on the Switch, and it's like £15. So I've made those sub-goals a lot easier to reach. So that's the Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy Legend, and the Final Fantasy Legend, Final Fantasy Legend 2, and Final Fantasy Legend 3 are on that collection. So I should say, when I'm on the tier list, I can't see chat, so I'm always switching between this and OBS so I can see chat. Legend of the Crystals. I don't know this one either. And there's the Final Fantasy Legend. So, the 3 Final Fantasy Legend games for the Game Boy are the origins of the Saga series. So technically, they're not even Final Fantasy games anymore, but they're they count. They've got Final Fantasy in the title. I'm counting that as part of Final Fantasy Forever. This logo's I can't read whatever this one is. Is it Final Fantasy Tactics? Maybe Tactics. No! Lightning Returns! Alright, so here's the thing. Didn't play it. Monster of the Deep. Didn't play it. Mystic Quest. Haven't played it. Do you see the issue here? So many of the side games I haven't played. Which is why they're all on the sub list instead. Oh, here's an interesting one. Let's go back to Unzoom. An interesting mobile game in... Oh, yeah, we're getting there. Here's the thing. If Final Fantasy Forever goes well, this didn't play section is going to be minuscule by the end of it. Only if it goes well. If it goes too well, and I just blitz through the Final Fantasy games, it will end up being still very lengthy. But chances are, I'm not going to be blitzing through the games that quickly. Like, I'm estimating 15 months, and that's taking the 3 months of playing Kingdom Hearts into account as well. Record Keeper, I actually really like. It's a mobile game, so it has... it does have some unfortunate gacha elements. But even if... even though I've never dropped any money on it, thankfully, I just really like it. I'm a sucker for these sort of things where it's like, you can collect Final Fantasy characters, and Final Fantasy weapons, and Final Fantasy armor, and all this stuff. And you get like summons, and you get like all these different abilities, and it's basically like a RPG where you have like you have control over 5 characters, and you're going through like old Final Fantasy worlds, basically reliving the games, but in little like sprite forms. You want to do a Kingdom Hearts characters tier list? Do it. Yeah, what can I say? Do it. Do it. So yeah, Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I'm actually going to put higher than it probably should be. I'm going to put it into B. I really like it. If I can get the old Android app working, I might do a Record Keeper stream. Honestly, yes, Booker, do it. Higher than it should be. Stupid and B. Alright, Final Fantasy Tactics, is that War of the Lions? You know what? I'm gonna just quickly put all the Tactics games here. Because I've never played them. I've never been one for tactical RPGs. Again, Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the easier ones to unlock the sub-goals for. I'm quite excited to play Tactics, to finally play. Again, I think it never came out in Europe. I'm sure you've ruined it for anyone, so there's no way they could have played it. I mean, after this stream, I was going to start my first playthrough of Bioshock Infinite, but I guess I won't now. Just kidding, I played it like 7 years ago. I'm good. The 4 Heroes of Light. Apparently I think this game's bad, apparently. It's on the list. See, there's just so much side games I've not got to. And this is why I'm doing Final Fantasy Forever. Is to whittle this list down. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Oh, God. I've not watched this movie since I was a kid. I liked it as a kid because it looked pretty. But now that I'm older, I mean, here's a few things that's wrong with it. One, it almost killed Square Enix. So Square and Enix were about to partner up, merge, as the corporate speak is, and then Square were like, let's spend an insane amount of money making a movie. We'll slap the Final Fantasy title on it, and we'll make lots of money. The tech used to make Spirits Within is brilliant. Does that one say Chocobo Dungeon? Yeah, there's a Chocobo Dungeon. My camera's froze? No, I'm just really good at musical statues. Yeah, it needs to deactivate. Yeah. Camera does that sometimes. It's because I keep knocking the USB in my theatrical hand movements. So yeah, Spirits Within almost killed Square Enix because they were about to merge, and then Squaresoft were like, hey, let's make this super expensive movie. The tech use is phenomenal. It looks phenomenal for a 2000 CGI movie. It bombed. Square lost a lot of money, and almost destroyed the merger, and that would have probably killed Squaresoft. It didn't, and they survived somehow. There's one thing about Square Enix, they always survive somehow. You had it on DVD. I had the fucking novel. I had the novelization for Spirits Within. But I've not seen that since I was a kid. So I'm not going to be too harsh on it. Here's the thing, I rented it a lot as a kid. I have no real memories of it. And that's a bad sign. I've seen a movie like 6 times. I have no idea. I think James Woods is in it, so that's another negative. I'll put it... I'll put it in C, because C stands for I need to see it again. Does it mean it'd be an A? Ooh. That's fair. That is fair. Oh, Theorem. Alright, so I'll do Theorem, the first one first. I need to scroll up. I'll put that B. Theorem is the 3DS rhythm game that collects songs from all the mainline Final Fantasies, and you prod the screen. There's also like RPG elements. It's very good. However, Theorem Curtain Call is probably my favorite rhythm game of all time. On its little cartridge, there's over 200 songs on it. Plus, there's like DLC, which contains games that aren't even Final Fantasy. There's like, you can get like a song from Chrono Trigger. You can get songs from like Secret Mana. You can get the Crazy Chocobo theme from Final Fantasy 13-2, which is insane. Is One Winged Angel like the final boss song? No, there is a final boss to Theorem Curtain Call, but it's an original composition. However, it does have every final boss theme pretty much. So you do like little dungeons, and then there'll be like a mix between battle themes and field themes. So battle themes, you're fighting enemies to like battle music, and then the field ones, it's usually like stuff like the town themes or road map themes, and you are just traveling around this sort of facsimile of the area that the song represents. It's a very cute game. It's a very charming game. It has a bunch of characters. I want to say there's at least 80 characters you can pick and choose from. A lot of enemies are represented. So you do at times fight like Sephiroth in his safer Sephiroth form. You fight like Sin. Basically, think of any Final Fantasy final like mainstay enemy or big like boss. Not Big Boss, that's a different series. Vayne, yep, Vayne is there, I think. It was released before Final Fantasy 15, so there's not anyone from Final Fantasy 15 in it. But, no, it's absolutely great. And I'm actually excited to try Memory of Melody. The Kingdom Hearts one. That just came out on the Switch, but I'm saving that for... And that is going to be the finale to Springdom Hearts, I think. So yeah, Theorem Curtain Call. I have... Considering this is a rhythm game I've dropped about 100 hours in. It's going S rank. It's going S rank. It might drop down, but for now it's S rank. I can't read this logo. I still can't read this logo. Is this Type 0? This is Type 0. Type 0. I have the Platinum on. I don't remember the plot to Type 0. I remember the ending. I remember the names of some of the characters. I do not remember the plot. I remember thinking it was okay. Like, it's okay. I'm going to put it into C. This is a game I've dropped 30 hours on and I've got nothing to say about it. So, And I think, I want to say we're quite close to me. See if I can, exactly. I think Type 0 is one of the lower sub-goals as well. And I'd be happy to replay it. Like, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't remember the plot, and I barely remember the gameplay. I think it's like, I think it's more in line of like Final Fantasy 12. Wow. That is a lot of weird symbols. Bye, Vroony. You're not even that good at football anymore. Alright, where was I? Ah, yes. What the hell is that? Final Fantasy Unlimited. I have no idea what that is. There you go. Oh, it's Advent Children. Right. I feel like my opinions of Advent Children are not like other people's opinions of Advent Children. I have a feeling a lot of people like Advent Children. I like parts of Advent Children. I'll be rewatching it for this. I'll be rewatching it. Once I'm done Final Fantasy VII. I never heard of it. Weird, because everyone should have their Advent Children already. It's Christmas time. That joke sucked. So yeah, I like. Oh man, this is gonna make me sound bad. I like the action scenes. I think the action scenes are really cool. I do not like the plot. I do not like the characterization of certain characters. I think the story is kind of lame. I'm not a big fan of Advent Children at all. But I'll rewatch it once I'm done with 7. So next month, I guess. But it does look nice, and it does have some cool action scenes. It's going to see. I'll put it just behind Spirits Within for I need to see it again. But yeah, Advent Children never really. I liked it as a teenager, but it was more like, oh my god, Final Fantasy VII, but it's on a movie. And nowadays, like that novelty wore off, and yeah, I just have my opinions of it. Again, though, opinions can change. They might change. On the way to a smile, those like the mini. I want to say those are like the mini movies that were on the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children disc. If I remember correctly. They're like little like sub stories basically about how like what the characters are doing after Advent Children. And I don't think they're movies. I think they're actually little like radio dramas. Like little ones. I don't remember too much about them. D for... No, F for I forgot about them. Nah. D, because I don't think they're like terrible or anything. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh man. Right. Final Fantasy VII Remake is probably my game of the year. What a roller coaster Final Fantasy VII Remake is, by the way. Right? So, it came out. No, it was announced. And I was hyped. Like, hyped for it. Like, I just could not... Remember finding the dog thing? And Tifa's not cloud? Yes. that clip is still around. The thing is, I'll need to finish hard mode at some point because I need to get the platinum. What am I doing? Yeah, so it was announced. I was hyped. You couldn't get me to shut up about it. I was just so excited that this long rumored Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I thought was never actually going to happen, and I was okay with that. But then there was like, it's happening, and I was like, yeah! And then we basically heard nothing. Like, it was like, oh, it's going to be episodic, and I was like, okay, fair enough, I can get it, I guess. And then there started nothing for like a few years, and I was like, oh no, it's been cancelled. And then they started showing like bits and pieces, and I was just like, oh, they're being so quiet about it. It's gonna suck. And then they started showing off more, and I was like, oh, this is good. And then the demo came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is great. And then I played it, and genuinely love this game. Final Fantasy VII Remake is just a brilliant game. It is a superbly good looking game. They nailed the feel of the original, but they've done enough different that it stands on its own. Like, obviously, it's a completely different game. Final Fantasy VII is a turn-based RPG. This one's an action RPG. They managed to find a way to remake Final Fantasy VII without trying to replace Final Fantasy VII. And they nailed it. Final Fantasy VII. The music stopped. Yes, continue watching. Why did you... It pauses the music. YouTube pauses itself if you don't watch it for a while. This ain't Netflix. This is background music. And yeah, I just adored every second of this game. I genuinely think it won't go Final Fantasy 9 rank, because Final Fantasy 9 rank, you know, you have to be something quite special to get into Final Fantasy 9 rank. It is top of the S rank so far. It's just everything I wanted and more, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with it next. Speaking of next, Final Fantasy VIII. I love Final Fantasy VIII. It was the first Final Fantasy I ever owned myself. 7 was the first one I played. 8's the first one I owned myself. And I just have a real affinity for 8. I know for a good while, it was quite a popular opinion on the internet that Final Fantasy VIII sucked. And that is garbage. Final Fantasy VIII rules. It's got its issues. Like, don't get me wrong, the plot goes a bit bonkers. It is incredibly easy to break, but that's not a bad thing, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, Squall is not really a likable protagonist for 75% of the game. No, make that 80. And yeah, it does have its issues, but I do think this is just a very fun, playable RPG. And it got me to really start loving the series. So I can't give it anything other than didn't play. Okay. No. Do I put an S? Do I put an A? Do I put an S? Do I put an A? I'm gonna put an A, but I'm gonna put a high A. But I might move it up later. We'll see. Final Fantasy VII, the original, is if you think about Final Fantasy 7 too long and too much, like I have, which is why for like a year I've been wanting to do a video where I get drunk and try and explain everything about Final Fantasy 7. Me and my friend Brogan did start this, but I was using my camcorder, which is bad, and the quality was bad, and I didn't like it, so I didn't do anything with it. But Final Fantasy 7 is an incredible game. I heard someone describe it not long ago in that it's a game where they just tried to do everything with, and it kind of just worked out. Like, it's such a bizarre game in theory, because again, the plot goes weird. There is cutscenes that are in completely different art styles from each other. It's clear that this was like an experiment more than anything else, but there's so much. Like, obviously, it's a proper Final Fantasy game, like, and they treat it as such, but they were clearly just like, alright, we're on the PlayStation now, let's just see what we can do. And what they could do was, hey, let's just have Cloud snowboard in this section, and then in this one he's on a motorcycle. So when you stop to think about Final Fantasy 7, as much as I have, it is a weird game, but it's such a wonderfully weird game, and everything just sort of works out. The only thing I can think of that really doesn't work out is the real-time strategy minigame at Fort Condor. And even then, it's not so much that is bad, it's just kind of bland. Because it's I've lost my thought process. Final Fantasy 7 is it's the first game I ever got emotional at. Not at the scene that you think, because and I don't have the case handy. But Final Fantasy 7's case fucking spoiled the death. Because I'm pretty sure there's an image on the back of the Final Fantasy 7 case, at least in Europe, where you see Cloud with a dead Aerith in his arms, about to put her into the sea. Like, so I knew that was coming. It was a scene in Cosmo Canyon where Red 13 finds his dad, who has been turned to stone. That's the scene that I think got me emotional as a kid. Because, again, I wasn't expecting that. But, you know, I was expecting Aerith. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 is just great. It's one of those games where just everything just seemed to come together, and it came together incredibly well. Final Fantasy 6 is a weird one. I've never finished Final Fantasy 6, but I do love it. I think it's a really good game. But I don't have much to say about it. I think when I first got into emulating games, back when I was still at school, Final Fantasy 6 was one of the games I wanted to play the most. I'll put it in B, just because, again, I need to... I'll put it above 1, though. I'll put it above 1, though. I'll put it above... There we go. Yeah, I got about halfway. Like, I got beyond the opera scene, and I really liked it, but the problem was, because I was emulating it, I didn't really feel like... I don't know, I just didn't feel like I owned the game, I guess. I do own the game now. I've got it on the PS3. I just need to, like, sit down and play it, and I will. Towards the end of Final Fantasy Forever, because of the way I have organized it is, Final Fantasy 6 is the third to last main game I'll be playing in Forever. I just realized Yeah, an hour of just pure talking wrecks my throat a lot more than if I was playing a game. I'm just having a fun time talking about Final Fantasy. See, now that we've got a bit more of the main games here, it doesn't make me feel as bad about the big list of side games and movies and stuff I've not seen or played. Oh, Final Fantasy V rules. Final Fantasy V rules. It's not got quite the story that 4 and 6 do. Like 4 and 6 have a much more involved, in-depth story. But what 5 has is a lot of charm. I mean, it does have a story. Like it's got a good story, but it's got a lot of charm. It's got a lot of it has fun at times, but same with Final Fantasy 9. It's a very lighthearted game until it stops being lighthearted, and then so the more dramatic moments have more of an effect because you're just having a nice, lovely, whimsical time, and then suddenly death and destruction. You having fun now, little kitty? You having fun now? Well, here's the whimsical part again. Yay! But Final Fantasy V has like infinite replayability with the job system because there's like classic Final Fantasy, you get your characters and then you give them a job. In some cases these are permanent throughout the entire game. Sometimes you can switch them about throughout the game. And Final Fantasy V has like 30 of these jobs that you can just switch out at any point once you get all the crystals. And as a result, you can play this game 10 times and have a different experience every time. Like you can try and master every job at the same time, or you can concentrate on a small selection of jobs and then experiment over future playthroughs. There's a thing in the summer called the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta, which I did start this year, and then I realized I fucked up, so I stopped playing it. I managed to mess up one of the rules, where it will automatically assign you a job, and you've got to try and beat the game just with these jobs. And that's for charity. It is a great event. Starts in June every year. It's great. Final Fantasy V is great. Final Fantasy V is great. I like it more than 4, but not as much as 8. It's very good. War of the Visions, never played. World of Final Fantasy. Oh, World of Final Fantasy is very cute. It's very charming. It's basically what if Final Fantasy, but also Pokemon. So instead of, so you only have 2 party members, but instead of, I guess, fighting monsters and leveling up that, well, you do level up that way, but like instead of just fighting monsters, you can like capture monsters in prisms, and then you sort of, so each like battle you have like a stack. So if you're like, say, big version of your character, you'll have like 2 Final Fantasy monsters on top of your head. And it's very weird, but it's the energy. Oh, I'll have a look at that once I've finished talking about World of Final Fantasy. And then I will express my opinion. World of Final Fantasy is just very cute. The biggest issue World of Final Fantasy had was and I don't know if this is the case worldwide, but in the UK, well, in Europe, they released World of Final Fantasy about 2 or 3 weeks before Final Fantasy 15. And I don't know why they did that. It kind of took away from World of Final Fantasy, which has enough quality to be like within the main game sphere, in my opinion. It's a very, very good game. Very, very, very good game. Never finished it because Final Fantasy 15 came out. But I will probably, again, make it easier for the sub-goals to reach World of Final Fantasy, because it is a very charming game that I want. And it's not a game that takes itself seriously at all. And that's kind of to its benefit. And it's also really fun because, so in this game, because you're fighting alongside monsters, a lot of the like traditional summons you can just have in your party, like Ifrit and Shiva and stuff like that. You can just capture them. They're a big part of the story, but you can just capture them and they'll be part of your party. Instead of summoning Ifrit or summoning Shiva, you summon Final Fantasy characters, but they're little chibi versions. So you can like summon Chibi Sephiroth or Chibi Warrior of Light, or if you get the DLC that came out alongside, remember the time Maxima came out, you can summon Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which I think is a fun, weird twist to the Final Fantasy formula. It is one of those sold excellent. Unfortunately, the Maxima DLC the Maxima version of World of Final Fantasy includes all the DLC apart from Sora. You still have to buy Sora separately for some reason. I should be an auctioneer. I had a point. Oh yeah, and like a lot of the worlds you visit are based on former Final Fantasy. It's one of those celebrations of Final Fantasy games that I'm a sucker for. Like, I am a sucker for these. Honestly, like, World of Final Fantasy is I think I'm gonna have to move Final Fantasy 6 up one, and then I'm gonna put World of Final Fantasy just behind it. Because I think World of Final Fantasy is good enough to be in that conversation of just being a really good Final Fantasy. It didn't review particularly amazingly. Like, it got like good reviews, but nothing amazing. But if you're a Final Fantasy fan, it's definitely worth playing. Alright, let's take a small break and look at Blake's tier list. Okay, you know what? I have to agree. The tier list you submitted is very good. I can't disagree with any of that. We're actually not got too much more to go. Final Fantasy X-2. We've not even talked about Final Fantasy X yet. X-2 is a game I just cannot get into. I appreciate it's not a bad game. I appreciate that it's it kind of tried to bring back the job system. So instead of just playing as like in Final Fantasy X, each character has its own like pre-designed role, but you can then just change that if you want. So instead of that, like, you get dress spheres, which changes the costumes of your characters, and then they can do different jobs. And I kind of like that, but the system for switching jobs in battle is really annoying because you have to sit through a cutscene every time, and they want you to do this multiple times a battle, and it's like, ugh. The story is a lot more lighthearted than 10 as well. Like, 10 is not a particularly depressing game, but it does have depressing moments where I feel like 10-2, what I've played, it does veer that territory, but then someone will say something kind of dumb and it's like, it's lighthearted again. I just can't get into it. I just don't really. And it's weird because we'll see when I get to 10. I love 10. 10's great. There's just something about 10-2 that always kind of puts me off. I'm going to put it in D because, and I'm going to put it, here. I'm going to put it in D because it's my, I know it's not that bad, but my personal feelings towards it is that. But again, I think I have to play 10.2. I think we've reached 10.2. Let me look at my Google Doc here. Yeah. So Final Fantasy 10.2 is happening. Like, I'll be playing through the entire game. Unless it really starts to annoy me. We'll be playing through the entire game. And there's a difference between this one and Metal Gear Forever. Metal Gear Summer is that in Metal Gear Summer, the side games I was only going to do like one stream of. This one, I'm planning to do as much of the game as possible. Either until I beat it or I just can't stomach it anymore. So this is why Final Fantasy Forever may last forever, depending on how many side games there is. Final... this is Revenant Wings. I think this might be Revenant Wings, but I'm just gonna... yeah, Revenant Wings. I like Revenant Wings. Or I liked Revenant Wings. I've not played it in a very long time, and then I lost my copy of it. It's the DS... is this a tactical RPG? This is the thing. It's been so long since I played Revenant Wings. I do not remember Revenant Wings. It's the sequel to Final Fantasy 12. I'm just going to look up what kind of game Revenant Wings was. Because in my mind, it's a real-time tactical role-playing game. Right. Thanks, Wikipedia. I remember liking it. But it's been over 10 years since I played it. And again, I think it's slowed down because I put every sequel quite low down. Yeah, so Revenant Wings has already been met as well. So I will be playing Revenant Wings after I've played Final Fantasy 12 when we do this Final Fantasy Forever. I'm going to put it C for See You Later Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings. Never played Final Fantasy 13-2. I do have Final Fantasy 13-2. Speaking of Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13! Okay, so... I was watching a live stream of someone playing Final Fantasy 13 who was in the same boat as me. He had played it when it came out. He was kind of on it. He decided to give it a second chance on stream. I think he was playing the PC version. And he was told, much like I have been, that, oh, Final Fantasy 13 gets good 30 hours into the game. So I'm of the controversial opinion. If a game takes 30 hours to get good, it's not a good game. Because that's 30 hours of not having a good time just to get to a short amount of good time. But maybe once I stream it, and I'll have, hopefully, people in the chat to keep me going, to give me encouragement, to be like, yes, Stu, you can do it. You can stew it. You'll finish Final Fantasy 13 this time. Now I'll be like, yeah. I do have Final Fantasy 13-2 somewhere as well. Like, I bought that years ago. Because I've been meaning to give Final Fantasy 13 a second chance. Also, when I got Final Fantasy 13, I got a very nice strategy guide for it. I need to show that off as well. It's got a lot of, like, nice art. Like, Final Fantasy 13 looks nice. It's a very good looking game, at least at the time. It just... there's just something... There's something missing from Final Fantasy 13. And it's hard to really grasp why, because I've not played it in a decade. So, Final Fantasy 13 goes into... I can't quite put it F. I can't quite bring myself to put it into F. And in fact, I'm going to put 2 ahead of Dirge of Cerberus. But yeah, it's going D. D for Dino Dantasy. Right, we're almost done. You're almost done hearing my voice. I was going to maybe stream some Crash Bandicoot after this. Nah, I need to rest this. Because I always forget that I have a very weak throat. Like, if I speak too much, my throat gets fucked. Especially in the winter, when I'm usually ill anyway. Final Fantasy 12! Final Fantasy 12. I adore this game. Final Fantasy 12 is fantastic. I've actually never... I have put 170 hours at least into Final Fantasy 12 through different playthroughs, and I've not actually quite finished it. Thing is, on the PS4 version, I'm like at the end. I can finish it in like a day. In fact, I might just finish it before I start. I might finish it. I'm Captain Bash. Don't listen to Ondor's lies. I'm Captain Bash. No, wait, I'm too raspy for Van. I'm Captain Bash von Rosenberg of Dalmask. Nah, that's too nasally. It's hard to do Van's voice because it's kind of just like, it's kind of like chill. Nah. But yeah, I've never actually finished Final Fantasy 12, and I'm going to do that before I start, I think, because I'm near the end, and I do love Final Fantasy 12. It's a very good game. I think the only reason... So, the reason I didn't finish it was because I was playing it, it was 2017 it would have come out, and I was playing it, and then I had to move, and then after the move, like, I wasn't playing games for like 2 weeks, and I just kind of lost momentum, and I never went back to it because, and this is the problem, if I'm at the end of the game, like, if I'm near the end of the game, and then I don't play it for like a few months, or even a few weeks, I'll have this sort of like weird reservation, like, oh, like, should I like finish it, or should I just start a new game? Final Fantasy 12 is brilliant though. Final Fantasy 12 is brilliant. I feel like it's slightly underappreciated because it did change a lot of things. With it being real time instead of turn based. Well, like, it changed a lot of things about the Final Fantasy formula. It is a very, very good game, and I do need to finish it. And obviously, I'll be playing Final Fantasy 12 during this, and I'm very excited. Final Fantasy 12 is going to be a very chill one as well, just because I think one of the things I might do when we get to Final Fantasy 12 is try and program it to just play itself, and then just have a nice chat. If I ever need to grind for levels. It's gone to the point with the whole PS5 ordeal that the store I usually buy my tech stuff from is doing a lottery for the PS5. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this is what I like. Obviously, I want a PS5. I can't, like. Obviously, I want a PS5. I can't. A lottery for a chance to buy. That's ridiculous, kind of. It's ridiculous got to this point. I mean, again, I don't know if it's because of COVID. That is just. No, this is. Is it because of COVID? The there's not enough units, but no, this is what the edition. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I really want a PS5, but I can't afford one, and B, I need the disc version because I like physical media. But I mean, this is like a common thing, especially with tech like this, where there's like, oh look, it's you got to make sure you get one now. Yeah, I mean, absolutely get one. The PS5 looks fantastic, but it's always like, oh, there's not a lot of units, you better try and get one now. And then, but if you just like, and obviously like people like, we're gamers, we want the new stuff now. But in a few months, hopefully there'll be plenty of PS5s to go around, and hopefully by then I'll be able to afford one. Obviously, I need employment first, but we'll get to that when we get to that. You would rather have the digital? See, I want the standard one just because I have a lot of PS4 discs. So put it this way, if I got the digital version, I have a bunch of PS4 games I'd have to rebuy, and I don't want to do that. It works out cheaper for me to buy the disc drive version. Final Fantasy 12 goes into high rank. I can't put it. I'm gonna put it A. I can't put it ahead of Final Fantasy 8. In fact, I'm putting Final Fantasy 8 up here. I've made the call. Like, Final Fantasy 12 is great. I just love 8. Alright, Final Fantasy 11. I played Final Fantasy 11 once. I mean, I played it once. That's the issue. Like, I have played it. And then I was just like, I think I was expecting it to be a World of Warcraft MMO. It is not a World of Warcraft MMO. It is not a World of Warcraft MMO. It is... I haven't even said I'm... Yeah, they won't, because if they have, say, like a small number of it, then there's going to be a lot of people being like, oh, I won't bother. I won't bother trying. In theory. No, I hope you get one, because I do want to see it in action. Like, I love seeing people play, like, Astro Bot looks fantastic. And that's a free game that's packed in with every PS5. Demon Souls looks fantastic. I want to play Miles Morales. And I did say I was going to get it on the PS5, but at this point, the chance, like, I might as well just play on the PS4, because there's just not much chance of me getting a PS5 anytime soon. But yeah, the PS5 looks really good. I want to have a go at the DualSense. I want to know what that feels like. And again, apparently Astrobot and DualSense works really well together. Final Fantasy 14. I only started playing Final Fantasy 14 this year, back in April, and I really like it. But I have a weird thing in MMOs where it's like, you just want it for Demon Souls. It looks really good. I've seen a lot of people play it. I want to play Demon Souls, and I've barely played Souls. In fact, the only Souls game I've actually played is Demon Souls. Because I was going to do a big thing with the Souls games back in 2017, and then I never, because life got in the way. So yeah, I want to play Demon Souls. It looks really good. But yeah, Final Fantasy 14, I really like it, but I have this issue with MMOs where I forget that the whole point is to play it with other people and to make friends and stuff like that. So I'm just going around Final Fantasy 14, having the time of my life, just making making items. Like, I barely fight. Like, I'm pretty sure the last 2 times I played Final Fantasy 14, I did no combat. I was just like, I'm going to get some wood, gonna gather some plants, gonna make some clothes, and and I was having a ball of a time. So I'm gonna buy more. I'm gonna get like a month subscription, maybe in January, and I'm gonna test out to see. Oh yeah, and one thing, I play Final Fantasy 14 on the PS4, because I'm trash. But I'm gonna see how well it works streaming, because whenever I try to stream an MMO on the PC, or in this case a laptop, it just, well, I've only ever tried it on the PC. It just doesn't work. So we're gonna see what happens when I stream from the PlayStation 4. Hopefully it's better. Hopefully it works out better. And then if so, I'll try and do like a weekly Final Fantasy 14 stream. And then at some point I will. You'll play Final Fantasy 14 with me on PS4? Awesome! If you do get it and stuff, let me know. And yeah, we can stream it. Yeah, it's crossplay. I started a character on the PC and then continued that character on the PS4 because I tried a free trial on the PC. I think it works. It worked on my PC, which is now unfortunately not working properly. It worked fine, but I didn't have my PC with me in April. This is why I played it on the PS4. But yeah, like you can play it on the PC, and I can play it on the PS4, and we could be able to play it together. I will create a new character just for the streams, though. But my idea is, like, even if like no one else is available, I'll still do like a weekly Final Fantasy 14 stream, and then in 1 month I'll do Final Fantasy 11. But yeah, I'm more than happy to have I think, yeah, definitely would prefer to play with people I know. This is my biggest problem, is I'm not very good at talking to people in MMOs that I don't know. So yeah, I'm totally up for that. When it comes to that point, I'll try and like gather people up on Discord and stuff. And even, yeah, and like I say, even if people are not available, I'll probably still stream it once a week just to work on like the non-combat skills and stuff like that. Final Fantasy 14 is great though. I'm gonna put it B, ahead of Record Keeper. No, ahead of 1. Sorry, 1. 14. But it's only B because I've not played it that much. Like I've not done like a raid or anything. Also, it's a very charming game. Whoever localizes it clearly gets free reign on like the item descriptions, and it's great. Like some of the descriptions for items in that game is really fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully our eventual Final Fantasy 14 group. But I will like make a new character just for Final Fantasy Forever purposes. Final Fantasy 10 is brilliant. It's brilliant. I love Final Fantasy 10. I'm not even going to think about where I'm going to put it because I know where it's going. It's brilliant. Not a good. Do not put yourself through the whole completionist thing unless you really want to spend 120 hours grinding out levels. But as just a good, like a Final Fantasy game you can play through casually, Final Fantasy X is brilliant. I know some people have issues, you know. People don't like Titus. People, you know, make fun of the voice acting, even though the voice acting's fine. You know, people have issues with Final Fantasy X, and that's fair. They're valid. I'm not going to say they're not, but I like Final Fantasy X. Final Fantasy X is just a game I really, really like, and getting the platinum was a pain in the ass, but is worth it for 10. in my, like, for me. Again, don't recommend it for people unless you absolutely love 10 and you will not, like, ever stop loving 10. If you're only kind of on 10, do not get the platinum. Don't even attempt the platinum. Do not even do this, like, half the side stuff, because it's a lot of work. But 10's great. 10 is great, and I'm looking forward to playing it again, but casually. Yeah. And to think, I spent all that time grinding out, completing the whole sphere grid, and then the way I beat the big super boss was I paid Yojimbo, and he was like, okay, I'll just kill the super boss for you. I was like, thanks. Thanks, bro. Bro Jimbo. We're almost at the end. Wait. Oh. No, wait. I think what's happened. I think the old Final Fantasy, I think this Final Fantasy 14. No, okay. I couldn't read this, so I thought that was like Final Fantasy 14 and Realm Reborn. But no, with Final Fantasy 14, they've encompassed all Final Fantasy 14, including a Realm Reborn. I don't know what this is. Final Fantasy 15, and I didn't even read it. Final Fantasy 15, A New Hope, was it? I literally can't read that last word because it's white on white. Like, it's generally, I can't read it. I'm guessing it's one of the DLCs for Final Fantasy 15, though. A New Empire! Yeah, I did not play this. It's a mobile game. I have not played Comrades. I have not played any of the DLC, so that includes Episode Arden. I have not watched Dad of Light. And that just leaves Final Fantasy 15 to rank. Empire, thank you. So I didn't see the chat until I wait, what? What did he do with Dad of Light? I've not seen it. So I put it in, didn't play. Put S for best name and most adorable ever. Like, I didn't know what Dad of Light is. A father and son rekindle their bond through the online role-playing game Final Fantasy XIV, based on a true story. Does this even come out in, like, international? Netflix? Because I would watch it. We have it. Alright, well, I will, I mean, if it's in the din, I'll put it as, it can't be a sub goal because we can't watch it on Twitch. remind me when we start Final Fantasy 14. For every Final Fantasy 14 stream we do, I'll watch an episode. No, I mean, if it's on Netflix, then I've got it. It's just, when I was saying I can't watch on stream, I just meant, like, I was about to say, oh, I'll put it as a sub goal then, but I'm like, that doesn't help. Sub goals are for Twitch things. But no, I'll give it a watch. It sounds, I've never heard of it before. But yeah, I'll give it a watch at some point. Alright, Final Fantasy 15! So, I really like Final Fantasy 15, but I've not played it. I've not finished it. I've been talking for an hour and a half now. Sorry. I've not finished it. And we talked about this on the podcast, which is, there's going to be a new episode this week. It's going to be finished this week. Maybe. Wow. Blake. Do you not see where I've put Final Fantasy 12? Were you not watching? Were you not listening? Wow. Disgraceful. Yeah, but you should already know that 12... Like... 12's here! Hey! Literally! Hey! Literally top of A! But I got 15 wrong. And you come from... Okay, well... Again, let me reiterate. Opinions can change, and this is a pre-Final Fantasy Forever list. They'll be compared with the post-Final Fantasy Forever list. So we did talk about this on the podcast when Final Fantasy 15 popped up for Blake. I've never finished it, and it's because it came out during my last year of uni, and I played about 40 hours of it. I got about halfway through the game because I was doing all the side stuff as well. I really like it. I think it is a very fun game. But I got too busy with uni and never went back to play it. And basically, I got to the point where it's like, I need to just start from the beginning again. And I just haven't quite been able to bring myself to do that. Which is why Final Fantasy Forever is a good thing, because it's going to make me finish Final Fantasy 15. So I have to finish all the main games. Like, I don't have to finish the side games, but I will try and finish as many of them as possible. But with 15, I have to beat anyway, so I will give it a good go. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15, I do really like. I do have a couple of issues, but like I do think driving's a bit weird. I wish they gave me more control of the car so I can crash into shit. But yeah, I'm going to put it... Oh. Where will I put it? Will I put it... F? For... Final Fantasy? Will I put it... Oh, maybe I'll put it D for Doctus. Oh, maybe I'll put it in Final Fantasy 9 rank. Final Fantasy 9 rank. It's not Final Fantasy 9 rank. It doesn't meet the requirements of Final Fantasy 9 rank, which is you have to be Final Fantasy 9. So I'm not. I'll put it here. Beaver plate. I can't in good conscience put it above 4 or 5 and 4 and 5 because I'm very nostalgic for 6. I is brilliant, but I've never finished it. And I love 12. I do like 12 more, like, so I think that's where I'm gonna have to put it. Can't wait for you to get the bed because it's a brilliant set piece. Weird way to describe the credits, but okay, sure. Nah. I'm like I say, I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna sold. The credits on our boss fight. Oh no, it's Smash Brothers. I am looking forward to playing all these games, even the battle ones. Just because I love the series. But there's you have to fight sounding names or get pushed off the screen. Oh, what game did something similar to that? Oh, that's fine. I don't have a ceiling. I have a convertible room. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing all these games. I love the series, but there was a period of time where I kind of wasn't that into Final Fantasy. This was roughly the time when I started going, oh, we're going to play some higher and lower. This is going to be very confusing when I put this on YouTube. Let's play. I'm going to go. Well, actually, this kind of fits. 1 second. I need to grab my cards because my cards are on the other side of the room. 1 second. One second! Oh, my hat's out of shape. We're taking a break from the Final Fantasy tier list that I've just finished. I'm going to play some higher or lower. Can you hear the music? By the way, I've done some upgrades. Alright, higher or lower. I just shuffled it. Yeah, brilliant. I just shuffled. There we go. Just shuffle the jokers in there. Alright, I can turn down music a little bit. Alright, welcome to higher or lower. The rules are simple. I'm going to draw a card, and then Blake, you're going to choose whether the next card is going to be higher. You're going to choose. You're going to guess whether the next card is higher or lower. The prizes are on the screen. More prizes will be added once I start the Sunday shows next year. I have a few more ideas. But for now, these are the prizes. 1 in a row, you get a thumbs up from me. 2, you get a lovely compliment. 3, you get to pick a song from me to spoken word. 4, you get to pick again for me to, that own preferably, to stream. And 5, you get to suggest a brand new show for the variety shows. And when I say suggest, it means you can keep suggesting until I decide, yes, this one works. And you can make up whatever rules you want. But I've got to make sure it works. Are you ready to go? And I'll stop shuffling the cards. In hindsight, yeah, alright. your first card. Remember, you've got to bank your prize. If you got 3 in a row and you want me to do a song, you got to bank it. Your first card is a 4. Higher or lower than 4. Higher. Alright. Is it higher than 4? It's 4 again. You can either you can stay with higher or you can go lower. It's up to you. You can change your answer now if you want. Higher. Higher. Alright. It's a king. Well done, you got 1 in a row. Now, is it going to be higher or lower than a king? Lower. Lower. Alright, is it going to be lower than a king? God damn it. It's a queen! 2 in a row. You currently are on a lovely comfortable pursuit. You can either bank or go higher or lower again. Hello, W-E-R. Oh, right, you're spelling out. I thought you were saying hello again. Alright, lower than queen. So lower than a queen. It's a 3. It is lower than the queen. Lower than the queen. So, you're on 3 in a row. You can either bank or keep going. Higher or lower. Going up. Alright. For 4 in a row. It's a queen. It's a queen. You can either go for the grand prize, in which case I will be adding a new rule. If you get 5 in a row, I will be adding a new rule to make this one harder to get. So it's up to you. You don't have to come up with a new show now. You just give me suggestions, and then I'll pick one that I can do. Lower than the queen, okay? For the grand prize of making The Blake Show working title. Is it going to be lower than the queen? That you demand a recount? Okay. You switched the card below the screen. Alright, right, okay. I genuinely was not expecting that. It can't be rigged. Why would I rig this? I want people to suggest new shows. No, that... Wow. Don't know what to say. Sorry. The Blake Show will never be a thing. You had a great idea too? I mean, here's the thing. You can play higher or lower whenever... Well, once an hour, but you can play it whenever you want. So you can keep that idea in your brain. You can have another chance to win the chance to make a show in the future. Like I say, it's not hard to get 5 in a row right now. The plan is for every person who gets 5 in a row, I'll be adding another number to it. I'm going to suspect that some people don't want to suggest a new show. So. But yeah, that is higher. I just fucking shuffled the jokers back in. Alright. I mean, yeah, it's very unlikely. Right. I should come up with a consolation prize. What do we suggest for a consolation prize? If you get like, because obviously the first 3 are joke prizes, right? They're joke prizes. They're made like behind the scenes. The first 3 are made so you don't bank on those. So you can have one of those. You can have one of the first 3 prizes. Because that was highly unlikely. It was an incredibly unlikely thing to happen. So yeah, you have one of the first 3 prizes. Or, I've got a different idea. I think I've got a different idea. Because of how unlikely that was. Let's do another game. I'm going to call it the King Rule. And that is if, like, yeah, if you get, like, a queen, and you go lower and you get a king, you start from the beginning. I can't open this box. This box will not open. There we go. I don't want to ruin the box. It's a very nice set of cards. So if you get, and the same will apply if you get a 2 and you go higher and you get an ace. I'll still call it the King Rule. I mean, it's the luck of the cards. All right, just gonna shuffle these a bit more. In hindsight, I should have made this. I should have got the shuffle or boogie theme from Final Fantasy VIII, but I wanted it. I wanted some Sonic representation here, so that's why I picked this song. All right, are you ready for the rematch? Let's go. All right. Your first card is the most awkward card to open with. It's 7. Higher or lower than 7. Yeah, it's a difficult one. 7's a difficult one. Lower? Alright, is it lower than 7? It is! It's an ace! You got 1 in a row. You can either bank and get a thumbs up, or you can go higher or lower than an ace. Higher than an ace! Alright, for 2 in a row. It's a 9! It's a 9. 9 chocobos means you got 2 in a row. Higher or lower. Lower. Alright. Lower than a 9. I'm sorry, it was higher. 9 is also a tricky one. 9 and 10 are tricky ones because it's like you'd expect it to be lower, but the cards don't care about odds. I was about to shuffle those bloody jokers back in. But thank you for playing Higher or Lower. Like I said, it'll be available again. It'll be available again in an hour. I will not be available in an hour. I'm not streaming after this. I might stream later on if no one else is. Once my voice is rested. Because I do want to play more Crash Bandicoot. You know, wake you up at 4 AM for a game. Yeah, that was Higher or Lower. What a thrilling episode of Higher or Lower. Thank you very much for participating, and I'll see you next time. Alright, the tier list. I mean, hell, even if, like, I'm not streaming, you can just say it in Discord and I'll probably do a game with you. Right, so yeah, the tier list. Again, I'm going to be putting this on XTA's YouTube because this is more, you know, this is journalism. So it's going on XTA's YouTube. So that whole thing with the Higher or Lower, it's going to be confusing. It's staying in. Right, because I'm not editing this. This is 2 hours. So, this is the preliminary list of my Final Fantasy tier list. Again, this will change. Because a lot of these games I've not played in a long time. And some games I, you know, play all the time. Opinions will change. Again, we're looking at least a year, probably closer to 2, before I finish this. And I'll do another list then. We'll see how different it is. But for now, we have, in the didn't play, we have Crisis Core, the Crystal Chronicles games that are not Crystal Chronicles, King's Tale, Final Fantasy Adventure, Ring of Power, All the Bravest, Brotherhood, Crystal Bearers, Dimensions 1 and 2, Dissidia 012, Dissidia, Chocobo Dungeon, Chocobo Tales, Final Fantasy IV The After Years, King's Glaive, Last Order, Final Fantasy Legend 1, the Final Fantasy Legend, and then Final Fantasy Legend 2 and 3, Legend of the Crystals, Lightning Returns, Monsters of the Deep, Mystic Quest, Final Fantasy Tactics, all of them, 4 Heroes of Light, Final Fantasy Unlimited, something of the Visions, I can't remember, Final Fantasy 13-2, Final Fantasy 15 A New Empire, Final Fantasy 15 Episode Arden, Final Fantasy 15 Comrades, Dad of Light. In the F rank, we've got Final Fantasy 2, Dirge of Cerberus, and Final Fantasy 11. They will go higher. No, 2 and 11 will probably go higher once I'm done with them. In the D rank, we've got Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Dissidia NT, Final Fantasy X-2, On the Way to a Smile, and Final Fantasy 13. C rank, we've got Final Fantasy 3, Final Fantasy Explorers, Dissidia, Final Fantasy Opera Omina, Final Fantasy The Spirits Within, Final Fantasy 7 Advent Children, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, and Final Fantasy 12 Revenant Wings. What the fuck is Ring of Power? It might not be Ring of Power. I'll be honest with you. I might literally... Ring of Fates. What the fuck's a ring? What the fuck is Ring of Power? Where was it? Ah, B rank. We've got Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy Record Keeper, and Final Fantasy of the 11th Final Fantasy. In A rank, we've got Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 5, Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 15. Roll the Final Fantasy. In S rank, we've got Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy Current Call, Final Fantasy 8, and in the Final Fantasy 9 rank, we have Final Fantasy 9. That one probably won't change. So that is my tier list. I'll share this to Twitter. I'll put this on... I have no idea what Ring of Fates was either. Yeah, I think it's a Crystal Chronicles game. I want to say it's a Crystal Chronicles game. But that's it. Instead of saying but yeah, I just went but but yeah, that is. You forgot MG Survive? Oh yeah, MG Survive. Let me just find. There we go. There we go. There we go. And it's there. It doesn't have any box art because the box art is invisible. If you've ever seen, I mean, I've got a physical copy here. Let me just grab it for you and see. It's invisible. You can't see it. Look, I feel the force there, but it's invisible. So, see, like the gameplay. Yeah. See, I threw it away and you heard the noise. It's invisible. But yeah, that is the Final Fantasy tier list. Absolutely, feel free to let me know your opinions. Let me know what you think. My opinions are wrong, like not wrong, but where our opinions differ. Let me know. Again, this is just my opinion, and we'll see how it changes when I'm done with Final Fantasy Forever, which starts on the 1st of January. The 12-hour stream might not be on the 1st of January. It might be a little bit later. It depends if people are around, I guess. But it will start on the 1st of January with Final Fantasy 7. I'll be doing 7, 1, 8, 2, 9, 3, etc, etc, etc. Finishing with either Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 7 Remake or Final Fantasy 16 if that is out by that time. And the side games will be decided through sub goals. I need to make a new graphic because I changed the order of some of these side games, but just to give you a little preview, we are like 3 away from Type 0, and then it's Final Fantasy 13 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, then Final Fantasy Lightning Returns, then getting the Final Fantasy 15 Platinum is at 45 subs, and then at 50 subs it's the Final Fantasy Legend, which has just come out on Switch. So yeah, and that sub goal will last until I am done with the final game, whether that's Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Any sub or any 10k redemption will go towards playing a side game or some other weird fun stuff. I am going. You must feel this stuff. Yeah, I am going to go and probably have a lem sip because my throat is Godo tier list. Yeah, like I was going to make a wrestling joke, but I don't think this is. Oh, I'm thinking Gedo, not even Godo. Doesn't matter. My joke wasn't going to make sense anyway. But yeah, I finished Yakuza Kiwami. Speaking of Japanese wrestling, I beat Kiwami 2 last night. So I need to do Premium Adventure to complete everything, and then do a Legend playthrough, and I've got the Platinum. But that will wait. I need to set my PS3 for Snake Eater. But if I do stream later on, it'll be Crash Bandicoot. Because, yeah, I probably won't stream later on. This took longer than I thought it was going to. But thank you for being in the chat. It's been fun. I'm happy. I had fun making this tier list. If anyone wants me to go through any more tier lists, shout me out and I'll do them. But for now, thank you very much for watching. If you're on XD's YouTube, give us a subscribe. Go visit our website. And yeah, just have a wonderful life. Final Fantasy Forever starts 1st of January. This is my life now. Woo!